Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the She Who Leads podcast. I'm your host, Daniela Varga, your intuitive soul business coach. And in today's episode, I want to talk about something that I think is not talking about enough, which is why we are creating businesses that we hate. Specifically, why we create businesses that we hate working on, right? And I've been there myself, and I see this with so many clients that because of a lot of blocks, because of a lot of misconceptions, because a lot of trauma around different things, which I will go into in this episode, they create with their business, they create just another job. And then at one point they just like realize, oh my God, I hate my business. And I actually built it myself. And that is when the frustration kicks in. Actually, that leads up, like the signs for that are so super clear. Like when you are frustrated with the day-to-day task, when you feel betrayed by your own business because it was supposed to give you freedom, it was supposed to give you joy, right? You were supposed to enjoy this whole thing, and now you are working uh, way more than you worked on your day job, probably. You may see less success, especially in the beginning. You may even make less money like you did in your job before. And it is actually making you feel resentful of the business. It makes you feel resentful of the work that you are supposed to love, right? And also, what also adds into this is the way of the marketing part, because a lot of the times people start business because they want to help people. I know that you started your business because you want to help people, you want to be able to transform their lives. But then when you start the business, there's a lot of other things that you feel like, oh my God, you have to be doing, you have to be good at, like marketing and sales and operations and finances and everything else. And those start to take a toll on you, especially if it is not created the right way, especially if you create it from the blocks and the traumas that we tend to create these processes and these parts of the business. Again, I will go into these in the episode because we have very specific blocks around this topic, like why we are creating a business that is exactly like our previous job. And I will go through them so you can start to deconstruct all of those. And I will also share with you my process of how I am actually setting up businesses for myself and my clients in my coaching, in my one-on-one, and also in my programs. So the business feels joyful. The task, the day-to-day tasks feel good. It is something that you are excited about to do. It is something that fulfills you. It is something that makes you feel like, yeah, I want this. I want to do this more and more and more. And I want to do this for a long time. Not the other way around, when you feel like, oh, if I have to create another thing like this, I will just quit the business. Or if I have to talk to another person like this, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, it's just training the energy, right? There's just a very big difference in how your business can either drain you or charge you, right? And that is up to you, and you have the power to create either one. And my personal choice is a business that is charging me and fulfilling me. So I want to help you with that today with this episode. Okay, so let's dive right in. So the trap that we fall in, let's just clear that up right away. The trap that we are falling in all the time is that we're basically building a business that is just another job. And we end up doing things that we hate. We end up dreading basically the tasks that would supposed to give us the freedom, supposed to give us the fulfillment that we were not getting in the job before. It is supposed to give us, for example, the creative freedom to create however we want. It is supposed to give us more time with our families or more time for ourselves. But what we end up having is the hustle and trying to do so much more than we had to do before. And we end up hating the very parts of the business that is supposed to connect with us, with our client, that is supposed to open up our creativity, that is supposed to put us in the creative flow. And then we start to work with people who we don't resonate with. And that will feel like having 10 bosses instead of having just one. And if you work with people who you don't resonate with, those bosses probably won't feel like the boss you actually would want to have. So it's just, it really can take a toll on you mentally, energetically, spiritually. Like, it's not a nice way to build this. And especially since you built this, it also makes you believe that there is something wrong with you. Because, first of all, why did you do this to yourself? How is that everyone is super happy about the business, but you are not? So, again, it must be something wrong with you, right? It must be something wrong with me. If everyone can build a business according to social media that they are super happy with and they have all this time and all this money and everything, and I cannot do it, that there must be something wrong with me. Uh, and also make you believe that your dreams, like what your soul desires, is not possible, which is not true. Like, all of those that I listed right now are not true. Like, you are perfectly capable to build a business that you feel super, super amazing in. You're perfectly able to create the business that you love and that is successful. And you are perfectly able to transmute your knowledge into the business that helps people. That's, if it is in your desires in any way to have a business, to help people with the business, it's a given that you have everything you need to build the business. Because that is, if not entirely now, but partly, I'm bet you anything that that is partly a soul desire. And anytime you have a soul desire, you also have all the capabilities to fulfill that soul desire. So, again, even if it's just 1% right now, 100% being the highest, the most, if it's only 1% right now, that's soul desire, and maybe the other 99 is an ego desire, which again you can work on, and we work on a lot in the coaching, because ego desires tend to derail you from the real joy and purpose and fulfillment that you can create with whatever you do, especially with the business. But if you just like, even just like 1% of your desire is a soul desire of creating a business and helping people with a business, that means that you have all the tools, all the capabilities, all the gifts to be able to do that in the most amazing and most magical and most fulfilling way possible, which you would love. This is how it is designed. So I just want you to know that you are capable of it. The only thing why it is not happening right now is the blocks that you may have around this. And these are the blocks that I tend to see with a lot of people. These are the blocks that I kind of had myself throughout the years, and I had to work through them and put them down and just deconstruct the whole thing to be able to really build a business where I truly feel myself and I enjoy the things that I do. I enjoy the way I connect with people. I really enjoy the way I make money now, which wasn't true just even a year ago fully. So there's a way to do that. first step to that is understanding why we are creating the business that we don't like, why we are creating a business that is sometimes even worse than our job was. So I have how many reasons? 6 reasons for you with this. Six of the main blocks that I see with the people. And yeah, the fifth one is my favorite, but let's start with the fourth one. I think the fifth one is the most important of all of this. Let's start with the first one. So the first one is, obviously we live in a hustle culture. So you are told from a very, very young age that you have to work hard, you have to over deliver, you have to do a lot to be successful. And you are constantly fed this idea that you have to do all, you have to be on all platforms to be successful with your business. You have to create every day, you have to post every day to be successful with the business. If you want to grow, if you want to reach people, if you want the visibility, like you have to do all the time. And first of all, that's not true. Because, and I can go just about this in a whole podcast episode, and maybe I will do this, but it's the one thing that I learned with the business. It's never about quantity, it's always about quality. So creating one content that has your full attention, that has your full focus, that has your best energy will reach so many more people, and will reach the exact right people than you creating 5 different content which you don't care about, or you hated the full thing while you were doing it because you were just like wanting to be done with it. And that is imprinted in the content that you create. The energy that we create in is imprinted in the content that we produce, or anything that we create. It's just basically we give our essence, or our exact essence that we are in now, the energy that our electromagnetic field has, which is basically consists of our thoughts, our beliefs, our emotions, what we believe to be true about ourselves, what we believe people think about us, our trauma, like everything. Whatever we create, what we have in our electromagnetic field in that moment, which is the creator field in another name, we put that into the content that we create. So when you are in this hustle mode and you feel like you have to do all, and again, I will go into why you can be a match for that hustle culture, because again, if you are aligned with who you are, you wouldn't be a match for the hustle culture. There are specific things that make you a match for believing that you have to hustle to be successful, and I will go into that in a second. But I just want you to see that whatever you create, it has the energetic blueprint of yourself in that moment, or what you had in the creation process. So when you have fun with the content that you create, the content will be fun to watch. When you dread the content process and hate every bit of it and just want to be over with it, people will sense that in the content, and they will just slide right over it, like, or they start to watch and just like move on, right? So it's a very, very important piece. Why you are a match energetically to the hustle culture, because to be able to experience something, we have to be energetically a match to it. So with the hustle culture, one of the things is that you have trauma around putting yourself first, because when you have trauma around that, you will feel like everyone else comes in front of you. So you will be in this serve mode all the time, because otherwise you will feel invaluable, you won't feel good enough, or you even will feel threatened of something. Again, this is coming from a childhood wound. And the idea of stopping and not doing something and putting yourself first, putting first what you want, just feels so unsafe in your body, feels unsafe for your nervous system, and you will go to the thing that your nervous system knows, even though it is tiring you to, it's draining you from the last drop of your energy, basically. So that's one of the pieces. The other piece that goes into this is you feeling like you're not good enough. And when you feel like you're not good enough, again, it's very easy to give in to the hustle culture because you have this innate belief that, okay, so whatever I do is not enough, or how I am right now is not enough. So if people tell me if I create more, then maybe I will be more valuable, right? Like in your system right now, as an identity, more equals value, more equals good or good enough or kind of good enough. It has its scale. So you, again, your body won't feel safe with just creating what you actually would love to create, the amount, the version, or whatever. You will feel like you have to create what others expect you to create. You have to create the amount to be valuable. You have to overwork, maybe work 8, 10, 12 hours a day to feel like, oh, okay, finally I've done enough. Which, again, if you don't feel like you enough, that will never come from external sources. You can work like 24 hours a day. If you don't feel like you are enough, on the subconscious level as an identity, you won't feel enough after working 24 hours straight. You will still have like 10 different tasks in your mind that, oh yeah, I should have done these two because those are so important, and those will be really valuable for my followers. It's tricky because it not always lands in a way of, oh, I don't feel valuable when I create this content. It more looks like, oh, okay, if I create this, then finally people will then maybe people will want to work with me. Or if I create this, then it will help people click and they will see like, oh yeah, this is what they want. Or when it is usually tied to the idea of, when I do this, then finally something will happen. When I do this, then finally I will experience something. I will experience the success. I will experience the money. I will experience feeling good enough, feeling like people want to work with me, right? So that's a very important piece of the puzzle that you have to be aware of. So please start to see where you have this. If this, then finally I will have what I want mentality. That will help you show where you are feeling like you're not good enough the way you are, where you are feeling you're not good enough in what you do or how you present yourself or how you create or how much you create or whatever. Another thing that, again, makes us a match for hustle culture is if you have trauma with rest. And again, as a kid, we have so many traumas. I know I had a very big trauma around rest, which meant I only felt valuable if I was working, if I was doing something. So for me, laying on the couch and just like watching something was basically something that was a torture, because all I could think about while I was watching something and was supposed to lay and rest is that, oh my God, this is still not done. Oh, this is a waste of time. I could spend this on figuring out a new offer. I can spend this time on creating a content. Oh, if I spend this hour instead of watching something or just like resting or laying down or whatever, I could be, I don't know, I could create 2 podcast episodes a week, and that will probably lead me to more people, right? Like this feeling of I have to do more is also rooted in the fact that you have a trauma around rest, because when you rest, you don't feel like you're valuable. And that is a very strong, I want to say, motivator, inside motivator, a subconscious thing that makes you want to do more, makes you want to check into the hustle culture and just like create nonstop until the point that you are burning yourself out. And that's why it's so hard for a lot of people to stop working, because they connect their value solely to their work. And when that stops, your value stops. And when you don't feel valuable, that is a very sucky feeling. There is like things crawling under your skin nonstop, and the anxiety kicks in, the fear kicks in, this weird feeling in the body of like, oh my god, like I'm wasting my life. Basically, that kicks in all together. And one of the telltale signs that you cannot rest is basically you it's very hard for you to be in silence. It's very hard for you to be just like uh, alone, doing something that you don't feel like is productive or useful. And it just feels uncomfortable to the point it can be almost unbearable. I remember going to so many vacations, and I either worked on the vacations, crazy, or when I was laying on the beach, in my head, I was thinking about ways of how I can further build my business. And that led me to so many burnouts, and so many ways of hating my business. Something that I was supposed to love turned into something that was consuming my life, and I started to hate. Uh, Again, another trauma that keeps us in this hustle culture is the trauma around getting help. So when you feel like, when you learn, when you grow up and you were basically left on your own, either physically, either mentally, emotionally, however, when you felt like, oh, okay, I have to be the one who takes care of myself because no one takes care of me. And actually, if someone takes care of me, that has consequences that I don't want to pay. For example, you leaning on your mom in emotionally has always had consequences, because maybe she threw it in your face the next time, or she, I don't know, uh, mm, put you down for showing emotions or whatever. That's a bit different, but basically you learn that you cannot really lean on anyone. Oh, financially, that's a big part. Like when you had like financial, your parents used financial constraints to try to manage you in their own way. I didn't want to use the manipulate word because I don't like that word, but basically they wanted to make you do the things that you didn't want it to do by withdrawing money. You will learn very soon. You will learn very soon that you cannot really depend on anyone when it comes to either emotions, either money, either taking care of yourself, because people will just take advantage of you, and it comes with a price. It comes with the price of you giving up your freedom. It comes with the price of giving up something that you love, your needs, whatever. So if this is the case, if you had something similar, I had this, something similar like this, you will believe that, first of all, asking for help is for the weak. If you ask for help, you're weak. Second of all, you will believe that basically no one can do things as good as you do. And the third one will be that, okay, if I ask for help, that will actually have negative consequences. You don't really know what, but you know, like, oh, okay, it's just not something that I want to do because it didn't really turn out well before. Again, it all goes down this on the subconscious level. So because of this, you will feel the need to do everything by yourself. And I want to clarify, like in the beginning of building a business, it's really not uh, surprising to have to do everything really by yourself because maybe you don't have the funds. But at some point, there will be places when you can start to ask for help. And it can either come with just like asking a friend for an advice, asking a fellow business owner for advice, asking a fellow business owner to just like have a lunch with you and help you figure out something that you're struggling with, working with a coach, working with a mentor, signing up for a program that you want to learn, not just figuring out everything by yourself. And then obviously then comes delegation when you have people working for you and you have to learn not to micromanage them. So it again goes through a whole scale. But if you have this trauma, it will be super, super, super hard for you to go through this scale. It won't be impossible, but while you are going through it, you will struggle every single step along the way and basically make your life so much harder with trying to get help, because deeply down you are super afraid of trying to get help. So that's something to look out for. A fifth one, yay, the biggest one, is basically when you are not trusting yourself. And that's a big one for business. I'm talking about this a lot because it's super, super important. Because when you're not trusting yourself, you won't trust your intuition, you won't trust your natural gifts that you are given basically to create this business that you are building. And you just won't trust how you're naturally making decisions and how you would naturally build a business. So this will result again in trying to copy others because you're not trusting yourself, right? You're not trusting your gifts, you're not trusting what you're good at and how you would actually do business. And you start to follow other people's processes. You start to follow someone who says, yeah, memberships are the best thing right now, or group programs are the best things right now, or I don't know, Instagram is the place to go to get clients, or TikTok is the place to go and get clients, or you definitely have to do podcast on YouTube now because that's the only good way to do podcast, because on the podcast platforms you don't really get to reach people. So many noise, which again I am giving the benefit of the doubt to everyone, which I know it's naive at this point, but I'm giving the benefit of the doubt to everyone who gives away these advices, because let's say they are coming from the best intentions that they can come from. But those advices may work for them and may work for a bunch of people they work with, because they may have very similar gifts and similar setups and designs and energetics that they have, which again, they are not really aware of. They're just like attracting the people who are similar to them. But they won't necessarily work on you if you have a different design, if you have different talents, if you have different gifts, right? And all that will do to you is you trying to force yourself doing something that, first of all, will feel super unnatural, it will feel super cringy, because it's just not how you are naturally expressing yourself, for example. So you pushing Instagram because someone told you that coaches do this all the time, that coaches should go to Instagram because every coach goes to Instagram, right? And you push that because you were told to, or you got this for yourself, either way, and you struggle with it because you struggle in front of a camera, you struggle what to say, you struggle with expressing yourself. And a lot of those can come from trauma, but a lot of the times it's coming from you not using your natural gifts. Because let's say you have a natural gift for writing, but because blogs are not super hot and heavy right now, no one really talks about them. And you would have so much more success by just like starting writing and starting writing down what you naturally can like express. And again, writing cannot just go into blogs. You can also use writing on Instagram. You can use writing even on TikTok. Like, that's the beauty of it. And that's how I like to work with clients, with figuring out how to express themselves and how to use their natural talents in connecting with the right people, in connecting with high match clients. It doesn't really matter the platform. It matters how you express yourself the most naturally. And you can tailor the platform to that gift and use that gift the best way possible. And we usually find that, and then you will enjoy the creation process so much because you are using something that you're naturally good at. It's not really an effort for you to do. And also, you got to use your creativity, your unique creativity on that platform, how you can transform that, how you can translate that to the specific platform that we are picking, which again, I usually use intuition to see that higher self, which platform higher self would want you to use, your higher self wants you to use, because it's important. It's important to find the path to least resistance, and higher self helps with that. Intuition helps with that. So, and when you have that, actually, with your natural talent and how you uniquely translated that to the platform, you will have such a unique content that no one else has. So basically, you're instantly unique and you're instantly standing out of the crowd. So it works so amazingly. Another thing that I see with this is, again, so let's say that you are doing coaching or some type of a coaching, and you are pushed to do one-on-one coaching because coaches should start with one-on-one coaching. You have to work people with one-on-one, see what people are struggling with, then and that's a nice way to do it. Like, that's a very nice way to see how you work with processes and figure out your processes. But maybe you have a natural talent for leading groups. I have a friend who has a natural talent of holding attention in a group and holding workshops and just like connecting with a lot of people at once. And it is so much easier for her to think in groups and think in workshops. It's so much easier for her to just like be more in that teacher persona and teach what she knows. And actually, people resonate with it so much more than in one-on-one, because it's just how her energy is built. And again, this is where we go into the coaching of seeing, okay, so how your energy is actually working the best with connecting with people, because you are maybe pushing a way of forming your offers and trying to work with people that is not even aligned with you, or not even aligned right now the best way possible. So that's, again, super important to see, and then trust yourself with it. Because again, my friend knows exactly, like when we talked about this, she knows exactly that that is her strong suit. But because everyone else is telling that coaches should start with one-on-one coaching, she dismissed that. Right? So a lot of the times we know our gifts, but we are just afraid to use them because we're not trusting ourselves. There's also the situation when you don't even know what your gifts are. That's also something that we do in the coaching, figuring out what exactly your gifts are, what exactly your soul gifts are, to use in the business, to make the business, first of all, super unique, then super fun for you, and have the growth potential that you never thought you were able to have. So figure it out and find what are those soul gifts that you should be using. And the last one, very quickly, is the fear around money. So that's also something why we give into the hustle culture and why we become a match for hustling, because we have a lot of trauma and fear around money. If money doesn't feel safe for you, or making money doesn't feel safe for you, or holding money doesn't feel safe for you, like within your body and within as a identity, you don't have that on a subconscious level, making money will always feel like something to be afraid of, which will translate into, oh my God, if I create this, then people will buy. Oh, if I create this, then what if people won't buy? Like all of your creative process will be consumed by the thought of, I have to make more money, or what if I don't make enough money, right? So those are things that really, really focusedly should be cleared. And we are focusing on that on the coaching, in the coaching process, because when you can detach from the money part, and it is possible, I've done it myself, I've done it with clients, when you can detach from the money part and then can create from your natural gifts, your full essence, that will become the content, the offers, the whatever you create in the business will become magnetic by design, because you created from how you are designed. And it will naturally bring in the people, which will naturally bring in the money. It's a process, but that is the basically result of the process. Again, that's a very deep topic. I can go into it in detail. This is just like the 0.0000001% of all the information, of all the knowledge that we can go into. But I just wanted to give you a helicopter view of the blocks that make you, put you in this like, I have to do things, I have to do things all the time. And also what I mentioned here, and I have talked about this in my previous podcast episodes, with with the not trusting yourself and taking on things that is not designed for you, that is not good for you, that is something that you struggle with, that can make a very big difference in your business. When you start to do things that actually fulfill you, when you start to create the content you were meant to create content, when you start to create offers you were meant to create, when you start to work with people how you were meant to work with people, that will bring you the ease, the joy, and the love back into the business. And you can let go all of the stuff that you hated so far. And or really, like what I like to use is actually find the middle ground of, okay, so, because let's face it, like there will be parts, there are parts in the business that you may hate because you're not doing the things that you are naturally good at, and you're not using the platforms that would feel natural to you, or not creating the type of content, or not creating in the way that would feel good for you. So that's one part, that's what we are figuring out. But also I love to figure out, okay, so there are stuff in the business, especially in the beginning, that you may not love: finances, operations, admin stuff, whatever. There's still a way to make that enjoyable. That's still a way to see, okay, how can I do this that is aligned with my energy, that's aligned with my values, aligned with my gift, and make it as much fun as I can do, because that is also possible. So that's something to keep in mind. And I want to share the process I use with clients on how we build a business that they truly love, like building a business that they love to work on a day-to-day basis, because that is so important with everything that you create. Like, you don't just want to create something that you hate. Like, you have the freedom, you have the chance to create a work, create a career that you truly, truly love. Why would anyone want to create it in a way that it feels draining, that it feels wrong, that it feels just like something that you don't want to do? I wouldn't. So the process is, first, and again, I'm giving you a helicopter view in this, and I will give you a bit deeper setup in the first step, just so you can like start thinking about that and start moving around with that. The first step is getting clear on your values. And that's a very important step, because everyone has very deep core values. Some of them are values that the soul has, like soul values, that is basically something that is super in your essence. And there are also like core values that I think you learn in every new life. And those values are very important, because I really see that when these values are not fulfilled, you feel like something is missing. You will feel like that, yeah, I'm doing what I'm loving and I'm supposed to enjoy it, but it's just like something off. It's just I'm not enjoying it. It's not me. It's not the life that I want, right? This is the feeling that will it get you. For example, my one of my biggest values is freedom. So I am very, very mindful of what freedom means to me, how freedom translates to my day to day life, how freedom translates to my business, and how I am incorporating that every single day in my business. And again, I already touched on some of the next points, but that's why it's very important to get clear on your values, because when my value of freedom is not fulfilled, even in the business, I really, really soon, like very, very shortly, I start to get resentful of the things I do. And there's a way, oh, I almost dropped my note phone. And there's a way to incorporate that. There's a way to incorporate that according to your design, because everyone will be slightly different. I work slightly differently because, again, I have other values that I need to be taking care of, like value of learning something new. Like that's also something of a high value for me. Value of connecting deeply with people, that's also something of a high value for me. Being able to teach, that's also something that is a high value for me. So I have to be mindful of, okay, how I am incorporating all of those in a way that I feel like, okay, all of them are fulfilled and none of those I have to compromise in any way to feel like I can build a business, because I can move forward. Because whenever you feel like you are compromising on a value, your subconsciously will stop building the business bigger, because you know that a business is an amplifier, just as money. Business is also an amplifier. So whatever you are feeling right now, your body, your subconscious knows that, okay, if I make this even bigger, that means that whatever I'm feeling right now, I will feel it even more. So you don't feel free in your business right now. You won't want to feel like, subconsciously you will have this belief of, okay, I really shouldn't build this business even further. I really shouldn't scale this business, because that would just give more responsibilities into my life, right? So you will actually sabotage yourself, physically sabotage yourself, like by not hiring people or hiring the wrong people or micromanaging people, or again, like a lot of self-image pieces come into this, like how we stop that, how we sabotage that. But you will basically sabotage your growth, your business growth, because you have this belief of, okay, I don't feel free now, I don't want to feel this even worse in, I don't know, in a bigger scale, right? I don't want to feel even more busy. That's basically what's happening. So what I want you to do as the first step of this whole process is get super clear on your values. Get clear on what is valuable for you in your life. What are the values that you want to be fulfilled within your life and within your business? So it can be integrity, it can be freedom, it can be love, it can be joy, it can be so playfulness, even intuition, like whatever it is, whatever they are, because there will be multiple ones. I want you to start to figure those out, and I want you to just like start and pinpoint like maybe the top three. Like that is, oh yes, these are the top three right now that I really, really want to feel basically every day. That I want to feel like, oh yes, that is present in my life every day. That would be the very first step that we would actually work in the coaching process to see how to build a life, how to build a business that feels super, super, super good on the day to day. Okay, the second step of my process is defining your needs based on your values. And that is super interesting, because a lot of the people start to like, needs and values are super connected. One comes from the other. And when you connect what specific value would mean as a need, and then you incorporate that into the business, like the magic happens, and then you feel like your business is finally fulfilling your needs. Super, super cool. It's super, super, super cool. But to be able to do that, comes the third step, is which is rewiring the not feeling good enough identity. Because a lot of the times and again, you will see why this is super important at step 5, but this step is super, super, super crucial, because if you have, again, self-image trauma, self-image imbalances around not feeling good enough, you won't be able to translate these values and translate these needs into the business, because you will work on the different trauma reactions that you did, like overworking or oversharing, or saying yes to people all the time when you don't want to say yes, right? And those have to be cleared very specifically for every person. Has to be like the identity has to be shifted into the identity of, yeah, I am actually good enough to have the business that I want. I'm actually good enough to do the business my way. I am good enough to choose whatever I want to choose, because I feel XYZ and I know about myself that I am XYZ. And then people will act upon those, right? And this is leading me basically to the fourth step, which is almost like a sub step to the third one, but I just really like to pinpoint this, is clearing trauma around not putting yourself first. Because when you feel like you cannot put yourself first, you will put everything else in front of yourself within the business. This means clients, this means saying yes to clients you shouldn't work with, this means saying yes to maybe over going time all the time. So you have, again, like a coaching business, and your sessions should be 60 minutes long, but constantly you are doing them like a 90-minute long or maybe even more, and then you end up not being able to have time to go to the bathroom or eat properly or just like work out or everything, because the 1 hour session, which should be 4 hours according to your calendar, turn into basically a 6-hour day. And after 6 hours of coaching, I'm not very surprised that you feel like you don't have the energy to do everything else. Like, how do you create content next to that? How do you take care of your own body? And that's super, super important in any business that we have, to be able to put ourselves first without guilt, without feeling like we are in danger for doing that. And we focus on this super, super accurately a lot, let's say like a lot in this process, because it's one of the most important pieces to be able to go to the fifth step, which is basically setting boundaries with love that stick. Because if you cannot put yourself first, you will always give in for people who try to put themselves first, right? Everyone is doing that, and it is what everyone should do, putting ourselves first to fill our cup first and then give from that. But when you don't feel like you can put yourself first, then you won't feel like you actually can set boundaries, because again, like if someone is more rooted into the feeling that they are a priority, you will give in to them. And if they are, I don't know, pressing on, yeah, but I really want to have this coaching session on, I don't know, Friday, 7 p.m. And then you will like, oh, wow, maybe I should like help this person because they don't have time for do it another time. And like how, I don't know, how bad it would be for me for not helping this person, right? Like again, you start to prioritize the other person for whatever reason, and then end up having to work 7 p.m. on a Friday night, which again will feel you resented of the business that you built, because you shouldn't really work at 7 p.m. at a Friday night or on the weekends or whatever is your schedule, right? Because all you will be able to think about is, okay, I should have been able to spend this time either resting, spending it with my friends, spending it with my family, spending it with my kids, right? So it gets you into this vicious cycle of giving in, overstepping your own boundaries, not even being able to set boundaries, or if you set the boundaries, you're overstepping those boundaries all the time, which will lead to you beating yourself up of, oh, I am not, why am I not able to set the boundaries that I want? Then will make you feel resentful of the client of how can be so inconsiderate of my time, and then again hating the business of this business should be giving me freedom and I'm actually working even more than I want to. See, like it's it really goes a lot into this, like the putting yourself first, the clearing the trauma and putting yourself first is basically a must for being able to set boundaries. And the sixth step with all this is basically decoding your natural soul gifts and translating them to various parts of the business, which is basically messaging or what platforms you should use. Again, like I mentioned, what platforms your higher self would want you to use right now to grow your business the best, to get the lessons, to get your soul pull ahead the best. What is the best content form for you, for your energy, for your gifts, how you express yourself naturally? What is the easiest way basically to create for you that is in your energy, that is in your blueprint, which we extract? And that's one of the part that I love the best, to be honest. It's almost like a puzzle for me, like figuring out, oh, okay, so yeah, you have this gift, you have this strength, you have all this in your energy, you have this according to your human design, and yeah, intuition is telling me this. It's amazing. I love it so much. And that will help you create a creative process that you will love, that you will enjoy, that will feel fun, and you won't feel like you have to do more or have to do it differently or have to please others with it in any way. Again, like a lot goes into that on the self-image part, but we also bake that in because I know how important that is. So this is the process. You have your first step. If you want to have more help with this, you can actually book a free clarity call with me where we can dive into the blocks that you may are having that will make you a match to the hustle culture and that will make you a match of basically hating your business or creating a business that you hate, and also see what we can do, what you can do right now, what you can shift right now, either on a subconscious level or on the physical reality of your business. Usually it's both. To start to enjoy the business more, to start to put down all the things that is making you train, that is draining you in the business, and start to incorporate the things that you would love, and then you finally enjoy the whole process of the business. So if that's something that excites you, the link is in the description below. I am super excited to talk about this topic because that is one of my biggest desires in this lifetime, I think, to, like, first of all have people fulfill their soul pulls through a business, but also enjoy the process, enjoy it as much as they can, and work from their core selves and business and gifts in that business. Oh my god, that is my dream come true. That is really my dream come true, because I really, really want you to have the business that you're meant to have, that is exciting and fun and joyful and creates success naturally, because you are as much in your core self as you can be, and you're using your natural gifts that are quite easy to use to be honest, and joyful to use, and with it you can really create those amazing unique things your soul came here to create in this lifetime. And it's just like I really want to reconstruct the whole business world with this, and how we do business and how we help people with the businesses that we create. Because why create something that we hate? Why create something that is taking off energy instead of fulfilling our cup, and then we can even help more people, right? So, and you are meant to have that. You are, if you have any ounce of desire to have a business and help people, you are meant to have that business. You're meant to have a business that you enjoy and that you love to work on every day. A life where you love Mondays, a life when you are super content and happy to work 4 hours a day or 6 hours a day and be done with the day and don't feel like you have to do more. uh, those are all meant for you. And yeah, I just like want to leave you with this message. Those are meant for you, and you have the power to create that. You have the power to create that. You have everything right now to create it. And yeah, I love that for you. Okay, thank you so much for being here with this episode. And if you have questions, please write them in the comment section. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.